The woman at the window. I've never been the kind of person to scare easily. I've lived in cities, traveled alone, handled emergencies at work. I always thought I'd know what to do in a scary situation until it happened to me. About a year into our marriage, my wife Leah and I moved into a quiet neighborhood in Vermont. Small town, lots of trees, not a lot of people. The kind of place where things aren't supposed to happen. But something did, and to this day I still don't know exactly who she was. It started on a Wednesday night. I was driving home from work a little later than usual. As I turned onto our street, I noticed someone standing across from our house, just standing there. She was wearing this long coat, not moving, not walking, just watching. I slowed down for a second, trying to see her face, but it was hidden by the shadows, and honestly, I figured maybe it was just a neighbor. Weird, yeah, but not unheard of. I parked the car, went inside, and didn't think much more about it. A few days later, Leah brings it up over dinner. Have you noticed that woman across the street lately? She's always just standing there, watching the house. My stomach dropped. I hadn't mentioned her. I asked Leah what she looked like. Long coat, didn't move, just stared. We laughed it off at the time. Maybe she was new to the neighborhood. Maybe she had some condition. Or maybe she was just odd. But then things got strange. We started getting notes. They were always left at the front door, neatly folded, no envelope. Just written in this delicate, almost old-fashioned handwriting. You don't deserve her. She used to love me. She was mine before she was yours. No name, no return address. Just pure obsession. I told Leah we should call the police, but she didn't want to make a big deal out of it yet. She was trying to be strong, trying not to show it was getting to her. But it was. Then the phone calls started, always to Leah's cell, always from an unlisted number. She'd pick up and it would just be silence, no breathing, no background noise, just a line that never spoke and never hung up. She started to get paranoid. She didn't want to be alone in the house. She kept the curtains closed even in the daytime. Every night before bed, I'd catch her checking every lock in the house twice. The final straw was a Saturday afternoon. Leah went out for a walk. I went to the store. Maybe 20 minutes tops. When I got back, Leah was on the kitchen floor, crying, shaking. Someone had broken in, but they didn't steal anything. Nothing was damaged. The only thing they did was rearrange her clothes in our bedroom closet by color, exactly the way Leah used to organize them, back before we got married. Something only someone close to her would know. And that's when she finally told me the truth. Before me, Leah had a close friend, a woman, someone she used to live with, someone who grew possessive, controlling, obsessive. When Leah pulled away, she didn't take it well. Leah hadn't spoken to her in years. She didn't even know where she lived now. We called the police, filed a report. They dusted for prints, checked the camera across the street, but it was conveniently malfunctioning during the time of the break-in. They never found anything, or anyone. We installed security cameras, changed the locks, even stayed with friends for a few days. Eventually things quieted down. The calls stopped, no more notes. The woman across the street disappeared. But here's the thing. Some nights when I'm locking up, just before I pull the blinds, I swear I still see her. A figure, standing just beyond the streetlight. Not moving, just watching. And I don't know if it's really her, or if my mind is just broken now. But sometimes I think she never left. And sometimes I wonder if Leah ever really told me everything. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content, and to watch more scary videos. Sleep tight if you can. Please share with family and friends. The surveillance man. You ever get that feeling like you're being watched? Like really watched. Closer than just someone staring from across a room. I didn't believe in that feeling until I heard what happened to my cousin Maria. It started out almost like a joke. She used to say her husband Calvin was just a protective type, always checking in, always knowing where she was. She thought it was sweet at first, but the sweet stuff wore off fast. Then it was divorce. They split after 4 years of marriage. She said he started crossing boundaries, reading her messages, showing up unannounced. But she didn't think he was dangerous. Not yet. The first red flag came about 2 weeks after she moved into her new place. A plain manila envelope showed up in her mailbox. No return address. No note. Inside were old wedding photos. Every single one with her face had been scratched out with something sharp. Crossed out. Deeply. Gouged out. Deep enough to tear the photo paper. She tried to brush it off. Maybe a sick prank. Maybe Calvin venting. But then she noticed the black SUV. It was parked down the street from her job one morning. Then again outside the gym. And a few days later outside her sister's house, 2 towns over. Same car, different locations. Always sitting there with tinted windows. She told the police. They said unless someone was threatening her directly, there wasn't much they could do. Classic. So Maria took matters into her own hands. She installed a small security camera above her apartment door. It pointed down toward the street and caught a chunk of the sidewalk. She hoped it'd just give her some peace of mind. A week later, she reviewed the footage. There was nothing unusual at first, but then, around 2:37 in the morning, there was movement. A man, just standing in the very edge of the frame, motionless, facing her window. He stayed there for nearly 3 hours. No walking, no pacing, just standing, watching. She took it to the cops. They said the footage wasn't clear enough to ID him. Could be anyone. She started sleeping with a bat next to her bed after that. Then came the worst part. One morning she dropped something under her sink while cleaning. She reached in to grab it and her hand brushed against something taped underneath. It was a USB drive. No label, no markings. She plugged it into her laptop, and what she found made her stomach drop. It was video footage of her sleeping. The angle it was from inside her bedroom. You could see her shift under the covers, the soft sound of her breathing. The timestamp showed it had been recorded just a few nights earlier. She didn't scream. She didn't call anyone. She packed her bags and was gone within a few days. Maria left the state, changed her name, switched jobs, got a new phone. She doesn't even tell me where she lives now. But she does text every once in a while. It has been years. She's still paranoid, still checking behind her in parking lots, still unplugging any smart devices at night. And here's the part that keeps her up sometimes every once in a while, just as she's drifting off to sleep. In that space between awake and dreaming, she swears she hears it. Click, like the sound of a camera shutter. Quick, mechanical, right in her ear, even when no one else is in the room. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content, and to watch more scary videos. Sleep tight if you can. Please share with family and friends. The second phone. You think you know the person you sleep next to every night. You think you know their fears, their past, their secrets. But sometimes they're the ones keeping the darkest secret of all. I used to think my marriage was solid. My wife Jody was everything I thought I wanted. Kind, warm, affectionate. The type of person who asked about your day and actually listened. We'd been married for 3 years, and for the most part, things were good. But then one day she changed. She started pulling away. She'd flinch when I entered the room. She'd stay up late and snap her laptop shut the moment I walked in. She began locking the bathroom door. We stopped talking like we used to. At first I thought it was stress. Work had been tough for her, but something in her eyes had shifted. This constant unease, like she was always watching something behind me. And then one afternoon, she forgot her phone. I heard the buzz while walking past the countertop. I wasn't the snooping type, but something about the way she had been acting made me hesitate. The message read, "He's with you. Call me later. I'm watching." I stared at it for a good 30 seconds. He's with you? Me? It was about me. I opened her phone. My hands were shaking, but curiosity had fully taken over. There were no names saved, just numbers, and dozens of strange one-sided conversations. But what really made my stomach twist was the photos. There were hundreds, all of me. Me at the gym, at the grocery store, walking the dog. In every picture I was unaware, caught mid-step from far-off angles. Some from behind bushes, some through windows. And then I found a second phone. It was hidden in a shoebox, buried behind a stack of winter sweaters in the closet. No password, just one album. Me. One photo stopped me cold. It was a shot of me sleeping, but Jody was next to me in the bed, her back turned. The picture was taken from inside our bedroom. When she came home, I confronted her. She froze. Then she started sobbing. She told me someone from her past, a guy she dated briefly in college, had been stalking her for years. He'd found us, she said. He was obsessed. The photos were his. That second phone. She said he must have hidden it in the house, but if that were true, why was she texting him? I told her I didn't believe her. And that's when something changed in her face. The fear vanished, replaced by something else. She looked at me and smiled. That night I couldn't sleep. I waited until she fell asleep and quietly went down to the basement to think, to breathe. That's when I noticed the crawl space door slightly ajar. I grabbed a flashlight and peered inside. It was cramped and full of dust, but there was something back there. A sleeping bag, fast food wrappers, water bottles, and a camera. I felt bile rise in my throat. I went back upstairs. I didn't say a word to Jody. I lay down beside her, listening to the silence. Every creak in the house sounded like a footstep. Every gust of wind felt like someone breathing down my neck. The next morning she was gone. Her phone, both phones, gone. Her clothes were still there, her ID, but no sign of her. I called the police, showed them everything. They took the camera, the phones, the photos that were left in the crawl space, filed a report, but that was it. She vanished like smoke. That was 6 months ago. I decided to move. But last week something happened. I went to walk my dog, and when I returned, I noticed a Polaroid taped to my front door. It was a picture of me, sleeping, in my new bedroom. I don't know if it's her or him, or both. But someone has a key, and they're still watching me. Did my wife have a stalker, a lover, or both? Who was she? Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for spine-chilling horror content, and to watch more scary videos. Sleep tight if you can. Please share with family and friends.